What is going on, YouTube? $5 game collection, month 3, December 2nd. Just started off with $25 this month, and I just spent $4 at Goodwill. Needless to say, it was worth it. We'll jump into that footage right now, and then I'll see you guys in a minute. Well, so already an unbelievable day at Goodwill. The games themselves, it's been months since I've even had a game there. Believe me, anytime I find a game, I notify you guys on the channel. I'll make it, even if it's a shitty little like 5-minute video. This is the first time I've found anything, and I've mentioned a couple times about holidays. The holidays, people usually sell stuff, but one common trend is they're always getting rid of stuff. So the lazier people will just get rid of the old game system, the old games, because they know they're getting the new Xbox One or whatever. Spring cleaning is definitely a thing, but I also find, especially on Craigslist and Offerup, December is ridiculous with people getting rid of stuff. So found those amazing games. I actually found a 4th one off camera, not quite as good as the other 3, but I went up to check out expecting it to be like $12, you know, $3 a game. $4 total. It was actually $3.98. I donated the $2 to whatever charity Goodwill is helping out today. So absolutely ridiculous start to December. Unbelievable, even better than the garage sales. It is a Saturday morning, and I did not go garage selling once again because it is cold for Tucson. It's 47, and it was like in the 30s earlier this morning. I know most of you guys are laughing at that, but in Tucson, that's like inhumane, death-defying weather. So we'll head back to the house right now and do a quick pickup recap of everything I just got. Alright, let's get into a pickup video at a wild Saturday at Goodwill. Apparently Goodwill does these sales once a month or something. I didn't even know about it, where everything's at least 50% off. Yeah, it looks like 50% off. The games were supposed to be $4, I think, but she wrote them up as $2 and then took 50% off. So long story short, I got all 4 of these games for $3.98. As I mentioned, I donated the 2 cents to the charity. I'm not going to do change with this ever, so I'm going to always round up or down. If I spend 75 cents on something, I'm just going to take $1 out of the game hunting, because I don't want to go, that's a slippery slope, quarters and stuff. I'm not going to do that. So the first find I found on the bookshelves, really good find, Kelowna on the Wii. And I just played this and tested it out. It's not in great shape, as you can see, but it does work. I just tested this out a few hours ago and came to the realization that this is pretty much an exact remake of the PS1
Kelowna Door to Phantom Isle. I didn't know that. I thought this was like its own little thing, its own little spin-off, but it is just basically a remake of the PS1 version, which is a very expensive game. This game you can get for about $25 on eBay in nice condition, so I would pick this up over the PS1 version. I'll be adding this to the collection since it does work. I'm not going to sell this one. This is the GOAT game, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. I actually have only played the first one, but I played the first one a ton back in about 2001. Condition is lovely. RPG, I believe it's like a choice-based RPG. You can make decisions and it dictates what side you go down. At least the first one was, but this is a really good game, a really good franchise, and a very valuable franchise. Of course, this game is still going for north of $20, between 20 to 30 range. If I'm going to keep it or not, I'm going to decide if I'm going to start an Xbox collection or not. This is my second kind of expensive title on Xbox, so I might start that collection with those two. Getting into the games that will be resold 100%, Yu-Gi-Oh! Wheelie Breaker. Magic the Gathering has always been my trading card game fad, if you will. I played some Pokemon back in the late 90s, but Magic the Gathering is my trading card game, not Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon or anything else that's popular. Has some value at $1. I shouldn't have left any of these games on the shelf at $1. Had I known the price, I would have went back, but I was already out of the store and the line was already big, so I'll be sure to go back with Fanta. But for $1, a good buy should get me $10, no problem, maybe $15 in this condition. Another popular franchise, Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit. Assuming it's another fighter on the 360. Nice condition. I don't even need to test it. That's going to work for sure. Yeah, it looks like another fighting game. And fighting games have a tendency to hold their value. When you see like shooters and stuff on the 360, you might as well keep walking. But when you see RPGs and fighting games, sometimes they do hold their value. Again, at $1 spent, I expect to get $10, maybe $15 if I'm lucky for this game to add to the game hunting collection. I have no intention of keeping a 360 game. So that is it for Goodwill. Obviously a pretty ridiculous game. Hunting day. We'll get some stuff to add to the collection and we'll have some stuff to sell to quadruple our money. And I'm going to get this stuff up to sell right now so that I can start looking at Craigslist and offer up on some big bundles before Christmas hits. All right, so I'm here in my 70s porn star attire. And the day I just did that pickup video you guys just saw, I got a ridiculous find at the same exact Goodwill. Take a quick peek at that. Yeah, so this Goodwill has been absolutely ridiculous. Mario Kart 64, $15 in the shelf. I must have just missed it. They must have just put it out right after I left that day, because I believe that was the 5th of December. I'm not positive though. But as you can see, $15 at Goodwill. Bookman's was asking $20 for it back in 2013. In hindsight, I would buy a bunch of these right now for $20. Condition of the actual game is decent, but the chip on the inside is pretty shitty. You can see a bit corroded, if you will. Rusty almost. So I'm going to test this right now. In fact, I'll do it on camera. Real quick note about the price. I talk to people about this all the time. To haggle at Goodwill, no one does it. Everyone just thinks the sticker price is the price you have to pay. Basically, I called the manager over and I said, hey, can I get this game for the video game price? And he's like, oh yeah, I wonder why that's $15. Let me mark it down. So he marked it down to $3. So for $3, $3 for electrical green, whatever that means. As you can see, it's been on the shelf for 2 days. I got it on the 7th. $3. Again, I donated the penny to the charity. So for $3, a $50 game if it ends up working. Let's go test this right now. All right, lads, hold my hand here. Huzzah! Unbelievable. Nintendo games just always work. So reliable. Awesome. So, $50 game for $3. The best find so far of this new series. The question now is, do I add it to the bookshelf or do I sell it for a ton of game hunting money? But this is great news. This is great news. I did not know if it was going to work or not. Wow.
So in with a quick sell here. Both the fighting, I don't know if I want to call them fighting games, both the anime games sold pretty quickly, $12.50, so we'll call it $10 a piece, and we will add $20 to the game hunting cash, which will bring the grand total back to $38. A decent amount of money to buy a lot, and certainly plenty of money for the garage sales and Goodwill.
The ridiculous month at Goodwill continues. It is a Friday, and over there in the display cabinet is a Game Boy SP Flame Red for $10. So the question is, do I gamble and wait for the 50% off sale, which is tomorrow, or do I pick it up now for $10? I'm probably going to buy it right now. Not worth the $5 I would save. With almost certainty of losing it, someone's going to come in and buy it. So I think I'll pick that up, and then I'll be back for the 50% off sale, which is when I got all those items at the start of this video. It's coming up again tomorrow morning, and the yard sales have been non-existent. They haven't even been bad, they've been non-existent. So I think I'll probably come back here with Fanta, maybe go to a couple sales if they are going on tomorrow, and buy, I don't want to call them shovelware, but some of these kind of below average games at $1 a piece, they're actually going to be good buys if I can get $10 for them, or if they're in good enough condition to throw on the shelf. But in the meantime, I think I'll pick up this Game Boy SP right now. $10, I don't think it'll survive another day. So let's hop into Goodwill Find again. This has been an amazing month. Game Boy SP Flame Red was actually put on the shelves of Goodwill during World War II, which is kind of a fun little history fact. Outer shell, pretty damaged, pretty scratched up, kind of normal. Kids always like dragged them on the carpet and stuff, probably myself included. As always, Goodwill has these stupid used appliance stickers. Everything is as is at Goodwill, so I'm sure some people bitched about me haggling on Mario Kart 64, but you need to get a good deal there because everything might not work, and if it doesn't work, you're left out in the rain with pneumonia. The good news about the system is fantastic screen, fantastic, almost flawless, which is, most people say, all that matters. The inside is not bad. There's not too many scratches, not too much damage. So all the damage and stuff was kind of reserved for the outside. Fantastic condition, I would call it, from as far as the inside is concerned. So a good buy. I mentioned last month I was going to keep the next one of these I found, and I will put my money where my mouth is and add this to the bookshelf. At $10, I could easily get $40 for this on eBay, but I'm going to add it to the bookshelf. My favorite console of all time, well, I should say the AGS 101 is my favorite console. This is the shitty model. You can see it says AGS 001. This means it has a shit backlight. Literally, it's just like a light. By the way, I tested this at Goodwill. I put a game in and everything worked. You can see that's literally just a light in there. AGS 101 actually has a legit backlight, and it might have a better battery. Don't quote me on that, but it definitely has a real backlight. That's my favorite system ever made for anything, handheld or home console or anything. I just love the AGS 101. So the minute I get one of those, I'll be selling this. But until then, this will be going on the bookshelf. The nice thing, first-party charger, which is rarer and rarer, and it's going to be almost impossible in 15 years when you're finding 3DSs at garage sales, because the 3DS doesn't come with a first-party charger, the new ones at least. So Debus Game Boy. I don't know what that means. Probably Debbie's. That's a weird way to spell Debbie. So first party charger. Kind of good news as a collector. You kind of want first party stuff. I don't want generic Taiwanese made electronics that are going to start my house into a structure fire. So this will be going on the bookshelf. If I want to continue looking for Craigslist and Offerup finds, I'm going to have to sell something else, because we are down to $28 after spending $10 again at Goodwill. So I might want to sell something, but overall this has been an absolutely ridiculous month. Goodwill has been a dream come true. So I'll be adding this to the collection.
Hey, come have a seat in the back of the van.
So we're here with Derpy Link, falling apart back there. And one last find to kind of close out December. Offerup, really, really good deal. It's been up for a while, but apparently he hasn't sold it. So negotiating right now, haggling, and we'll see what type of deal we can make. We'll jump into that posting right now. So it took the entire month of December, but we finally have a good bundle on Offerup. 16 games for $150, most of them quality GameCube titles. Obviously, I don't have that money, but the guy did accept my offer of $10 a game. I'm going to end up getting 3 for $28, essentially. You guys can probably guess what 3 I'm getting, but I'm going to head out right now and meet with him, and we'll see in the pickup video. So our last find of the month, last pickup video, Offerup. The deal went well, but not as good as it should have gone. You guys will see kind of the sketchy problem, but definitely a good deal. $28, basically with his rates, that was $10 a game, his pricing, so I offered him 28 bucks obviously for 3 games. He accepted, and 2 of the 3 games turned out amazing. We'll jump into those first and foremost. Mario Party 6, GameCube original. I believe the last one on the GameCube, but I might be wrong. 7 might have been on the GameCube as well. Condition, perfect. Absolutely perfect, which is a dream. That was part of the reason I loved my old GameCube collection so much, is that the condition was just flawless on almost all the games. Instruction booklet looks great. Case, not terrible, but not perfect either. It has a little bit of wear on the outside. But at 10 bucks, a huge buy, a great buy. Also on the similar plateau here, Mario Party 5. Same thing, the outer case is a bit scuffed up, but the inside is what counts, as my grandmother used to always say. The disc is fantastic. Again, no issues at all. Unbelievable. So this rivals the condition of my old copies on GameCube from the last collection. Instruction booklet is nice. No roughed up pages, no bent edges, nothing. So yeah, these 2 games at 10 apiece, an absolute dream to wind out the month of December. So the problem, you guys know already, I'm sure, the last game I wanted to try to get for 10 bucks out of that lot. But regrettably, he showed up to the cell. I asked for Super Smash Bros. Melee, and he brought Super Smash Bros. Brawl. He was a bit of a sketchy person, and it was not at his house. So I basically took this game, if you will, for $8 and hit the road. I could have sat and argued and got into a fight about it and tried to get Melee. It probably would have been worth it, honestly, but this game is in awesome condition. It's not as valuable as Melee, of course, but it is in nice enough condition that I wasn't too upset. Disc, once again, unbelievably nice. Instruction booklet, fantastic. Just not as good as Melee, obviously, value-wise, and most people don't think it's as good of a game as far as a competitive fighter. But really good ending to the month. 3 AAA titles. All will be added to the bookshelf, but as I mentioned, we're out of money. Let's take a look at the collection. Alright, so let's close out the month of December. Certainly the best month of the channel, or I should say, I guess, of the playlist. The new collection, the best month of the new collection as far as quality of stuff added. Starting off with the GameCube collection. Starting to actually look like a bit of a collection. I hid Mickey House of Illusions or whatever. I hid it over behind Mario because it is an embarrassment. But the other 4 first-party titles looking good and certainly with some value. This collection, which needs to be centered. Original Xbox, a bit of a surprise. I didn't even have any original Xbox games in my first collection for the most part. So 2 kind of A+ titles. The other one's Alien vs. Predator, Extinction, hidden behind Link. I should put those back out in the center. N64, looking good. Only 2 games, but 2 valuable must-own games as far as playability. They just simply must own it if you own an N64. These are the number 1 and number 2 games you have to have. Mario Kart for kind of parties, and Mario 64 for that's the system that it was made for, and that's the first kind of big platformer that went 3D, I guess you could say.
The Wii collection also surprised me a bit. My old Wii collection for my last collection was absolute shit. So to have 4 pretty decent titles already, kind of a big surprise. Kelowna, too bad it's a remake of Door to Phantom Isle, but that is a great game. So it's a cheaper way to get that game. And then the 2 games in the middle, still not complete, but I'll probably end up selling one of those too because we are going to need money. And then last but not least, the handhelds down here. We had to go to a new shelf this unit, this month. So a DS game and a Game Boy SP, not AGS 101, I've complained about several times, I know. But the collection's looking awesome. I'm going to have to start stacking things differently as the camera tripod's falling down here. I have to start stacking things differently next month as we're running out of shelf space to keep doing it the wide way I'm doing it. Once again, leave a thumbs up if you guys like this series. It really helps me keep making it, essentially. I still game hunt no matter what, but if I put videos on YouTube, basically it's based on the response from the subscribers. So leave a thumbs up if you guys want to keep seeing this series. A quick note, $0 for game hunting, so something is going to have to get sold between now and January's video in order for me to keep hunting. But right now the collection is looking awesome. 3 months old and only $5 spent. I did not picture it looking this good by the end of 2016. I did not. So definitely above expectations for me at least. Thank you guys for watching and have a good New Year's. Later.